I have to put my Zoom lipstick on. Hi, my name is Sherry Hauser, and this is it's actually ZAG video number 3. It's a continuation of uploading a book to KDP. So on video 2, we started with registering a book to KDP, and on this is the second part of the same process. So now we're going to go ahead and upload the book to KDP and follow the process on through. This book is a hardbound book. It's a children's book. So I'll probably do some other types of books just to give you a general idea, of stuff. There's a lot of people that I've come across, authors that are doing it themselves, that are uploading their own files, and they just really don't know what goes in these blanks. KDP isn't real clear with a lot of what goes in these blanks, so I do it a lot. We're publishing probably 4 books a month right now. We do a lot of books, so it's just helpful. And these are just short little helpful videos. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm already signed into my KDP account. All right, I'm going to show you the front. It's the bookshelf here. So on the first part of the video, if you hunt for uploading a book to KDP, it's the ZAG video 2, then you'll see the first part of this. So I'm going to continue with the setup. Whenever you're working on a book, the last book that you've worked on will always be at the top there. It'll have a yellow button, which, by the way, if you work on a file, you open a file, and anytime it has a yellow button, it's not a good thing because your book is going to be stalled. People won't be able to order it. So you have to go ahead and do continue setup, push the book through so that people will be able to order it. So I'm going to continue setup, and it'll start you. There's just 3 tabs here. It's going to start you on the front. This book, I always open the book. Okay, the book is open. Here's the title of the book, Sharing Old Lumpy Comes to Life. It's a book that I wrote a long time ago. So right now we're working on the 3rd edition. We translated this book into Korean. It's got a song and a music, and my sister did the art on it. It's a real fun book. Okay, so here's the book. Now you're looking at the book in InDesign. That's the way we do books. We do them in InDesign. I've already gone through all of this stuff and kind of showed how it compares to what you put in the file here. But what I do whenever I load a book to KDP is I open the file. I can tell you, I opened the file. I did a book. I mean, we are talking just a couple minutes ago. I redid a book to KDP because I uploaded the book. I copied directly from the file, but I transposed the author's name. Okay. And so, and KDP didn't catch it. Okay. The author's name is transposed. So what I've done is I had to go in, I had to unpublish that book and republish the book with the correct information. If you put in the author's name wrong, KDP may catch it, but they may not catch that. So they're not going to change. There's certain things they're not going to change once you publish the book. Technically, they're not going to change that stuff. You could beg them, if you're desperate, but it's easier just to republish the book. Okay, so we're coming around the corner here, and here's English language, book title, subtitle, series. This is not part of a series at this time. Edition number 3. Again, I mentioned that we have published this book before. This is a next edition. We've got illustrators. We've got several contributors, translators. Again, refer to the prior session if you want all the details on this. I'm going to come on down. I'm on to save and continue. You have to save and continue to get on through the session. Okay. And we have put in our own ISBN number. We did not use KDP ISBN number. Again, refer to the first session if you're wondering, where did we get that? Okay. Print options. The print option, I know it's going to be premium color with white paper. Now, if you look at the book here, I'll show you under document setup. Document setup, it's portrait, letter, and it's a letter size. Now, this particular file has bleeds. Bleed means that the color is clear to the edge. That's when the color goes clear to the edge and then they trim it off. This is the appropriate bleeds. Anybody who's working in InDesign, you want to copy that down quickly. There it is, 0.3175. You don't need one on the inside because it's the inside. Okay, so that's your bleeds. Okay, so on this one, again, you'll see the color is going clear to the edge. This little thing here is where they're going to chop it off. All right. So the file itself is, this isn't a little dinky book. This has 49 links, 49 pictures in it. It has 92 pages. The minimum print, the minimum number of pages, I think it's like 69 or 70, somewhere right in there. We usually do 72 pages. And that's for a hardbound book on KDP. Okay. So we're going to come back around here, not there. We're going to come, that's the one we fixed. Okay. We're going to come back around here. And the trim size is 8.5 by 11. They only do like 3 different sizes. Let me show you. These are the sizes that they do in hardbound. They do all kinds of stuff in softbound. In fact, you can have your own done. I actually chose my own measurements, did my own measurements in softbound books. They charge a little more, but they do it. Okay, but in hardbound books, they don't. Very frequently, I've had authors come to me and they're doing a landscape or they're doing a square book. Okay, they don't do those. Okay, these are the only sizes they do. If you want that creative type, if you want different ones, Ingram Spark does those. But Ingram Spark charges more. Okay, just per print price book, they charge on average, I want to say about $1.50 to $2 per print price on their stuff, and then your royalty is going to be substantially less on Ingram Spark. The difference with Ingram Spark is Ingram Sparks is wholesale books. So they are going to make your royalty come under the wholesale line, not the retail line. And the wholesale line is technically 40% off retail price. Okay. So here's our bleed setting. We're going to make it, the cover finish is glossy. This is one of the things that you can change later on. Let's say you get your book and you go, man, I wish I would have gone matte. You can go back in and change it. That's an amazing thing. You can do that. Okay. My manuscript is right here. And let me make sure, I think it's all done. Let's see, let's look at it. All the way down here, page 92. Yep, it's done. Okay. And again, this is Korean English. Okay. It's kind of a fun book. Korean English coming on down just like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this book. It's Sharing Old Lumpy Comes to Life. And 2/26. Oh, Sharing Old Lumpy Comes to Life. Now you can write the whole title out there if you want. It's up to you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay. And in this file info, you want to fill all this stuff out. And this is a whole session that I will do on this stuff. Okay. But that's what you want to do. Okay. So I'm going to export this in my stuff. Okay. Because I want a high quality PDF. Okay. That's what I want. This is what you want. XF dash 1A 2000, blah, blah, blah. That's what you want. You don't need a tag PDF. You want this one. Okay. So it's going to export my PDF. You can export a PDF from Word, and they do show you how to do that, but you're not going to end up with a high resolution PDF unless you have the professional version Acrobat. That's the difference. So, and again, oops, I'm going to see, I'll check. I don't know if it's did the bleeds. If it didn't do the bleeds, that's part of it. So here's my thing, but actually I'm just going to shut it real quick. I'm going to come back around and I'm going to check. So the way to do it is to export to blah. I want to replace it. Yes. Compression, marks and bleeds. No, it wouldn't. You have to say use document bleed settings. That's what I needed right there to get me my bleeds. So when I went around in and putting it into KDP, it would definitely know that my bleeds weren't in there, and I have to redo it anyway. So I may as well redo it to start with. Okay. So it's going to twirl for a minute, and there it is. No reason to check it. I know it's true. Okay, I'm going to upload my manuscript. Now, the way that it works with KDP is you upload the manuscript and then you upload the cover, and then it puts them together like a taco. That's what I call it. Okay. So I'm going to go and hunt for my Sharing Olympic Comes to Life, and it's right here. See, and I note the time, and that helps me to make sure. I do date all of my files so I don't trip over myself. Now this is kind of big, but it's not huge. Okay, so it should load. So while it's loading, I'm going to check on the cover. All right, so my cover needs to be letter size 92. And in my stuff, it looks like I did the cover already. So let me look and see. Showing a lumpy cover is right here. Cover, cover. I'll have to see what that means. It says it's missing the Calibri OTF. Okay. Now that doesn't look to me like what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Let me see. Links. Oh, yep. Let's see on the link right here, that says that it's the case. The case bound for the cover, which means that the cover is going to be right behind it. Look at it, it's right there. Okay. Okay. So part of doing a book cover is that you got to have the right one. Okay. Important to have the right one. Okay. I'm going to pull that up. Looks like I didn't write the title on the back here. Sharing Old Lumpy Comes to Life. Let's go write the title on that. This one. Okay. Sharing Old Lumpy Comes to Life. Sharing Hauser. I like using something that's a font that's pretty easy to read. Oops, where'd it go? I lost it here somewhere. All right. Mine defaults to Minion Pro, which, that's just kind of basic stuff. Okay. I'm going to go Arial, and I'm going to go bold and make it big enough so I can actually see what's going on here. And you don't want to use a lot of special fonts and stuff on your on your spine because people need to be able to read it. You know what I mean? 14 is probably good enough. And for the most of the time, I do this in type it, and I do the case in uppercase like that. Okay. And if you take both of these, I go like that. And then I'm going to turn this. I'm going to turn this so that it is right between these things here so that I get that sound on here. Okay. And I just do it, I rotate. Okay. So I want that. You know what? I think I like this because I don't want my name to be in the bushes here. Now, this is the spine is right there. And if the E comes right down the spine, if an E runs right in the spine, then it works pretty good usually. Okay. Again, we're gonna see that it is. Move the wrong thing there. I need to move this thing right here. I want the E. There's an E down there. I want an E to come right down the spine. There it is. Okay. All right. So the spine is coming right down the back, and I'm gonna put the take the thing that's behind it here. I'm gonna take it out of there, which is a template. I'm gonna take that out of there. And that's going to be another film or another video is downloading the spine, downloading the cover and that kind of thing on here. Okay, so here's our cover. And it said, you notice it, if you were paying attention, it was 97 pages. My book is 92. That's not very much paper. Okay, it's only like 3 sheets of paper. So it's pretty close. Okay. Okay. Showing Olympic comes to life cover. Save. Yes. And I'm going to, let's check and make sure that I don't have some kind of funny thing here. I don't. I'm still live cover. Jerry Hauser, author. And this would be, okay, let's just copy this right here. Where's that thing at? Info right here. Okay. Give myself 5 stars. I figure if they leave me to hand out the stars, I'll just give myself as many stars as I want. Sharing. Okay. And this is copyrighted. And we're going to say that it's, I'm going to do another one there because I want to make sure that it's copyrighted to the artist as well. Oh, all righty. That's good. Let's make sure it's where it's supposed to go. Cover, yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and export it. And we're just going to export it. Same thing there. I don't care about that Calibri. Okay. And there it is. Okay. I'm going to shut that. All right. Now back over here. I think it probably uploaded our manuscript, and there it did. It did upload our manuscript, so let's get it ready for the cover. Now, if you don't have a cover, you can get a template and right there, but I'm not going to do that on this video because it just ends up being too much. Okay. So right now, what I'm going to do, this one here, or this one, we're going to open the cover that I just made. which is right here, because I know, because this is the time it is. And I'm going to open it in professional Photoshop. Okay. And I'm going to layer, flatten it because it won't be flattened. And then I'm going to save as. So this thing decides cover on my computer. And I don't want it a JPEG. I need it a PDF. Okay. Yeah, it's a CYMK PDF is what it is. Okay. That's what they want. Again, I'll do a video on the covers and you'll see stuff on that. Okay. All right. So we're coming around here. We don't need the cover creator. I've never actually used that on here. I've never needed it. I'm going to upload the cover. And again, the cover, oh, I saw on there it said 79 is what it said for the page count on there for your minimum on your hardbound books. So I'm going to upload the cover and then it's going to put the cover into with the other one. And we can, just sort of talk about stuff in the meantime. And while it's doing that, a lot of times what I do in the meantime is I go ahead and I make the ebook while it's putting them together. It is 5:15 in the evening right now where I'm at. So the internet gets pretty quiet about that time. If I try to upload a book to KDP in the early morning, it's gonna be a lot harder because the internet at my house needs to not be busy, but also the internet where I'm loading the book and all in between. So the bigger the book, the harder it is to load, and you have to wait until the internet's not noisy. A lot of times I actually can't load a book and be on Zoom at the same time because my internet is kind of wimpy. Okay. So we're going to load the cover right now. I don't think it'll take too long to load. And then it's going to show us the cover. And then we're going to tell it to put them together. Okay. All right. Okay. So it says covers uploaded. And it's a little bit laggy to show it to us. It would be nice if it did. If you put your cover up there and it looks really, really weird, it means that you didn't flatten it. All right. So that's what happens. Now you can put a barcode, use your own barcode. I did that a few times. I haven't found it to be anything phenomenal. All right. So generally what I do is I just kind of allow a little extra room on the back for people. So if you don't want to put your own price stickers on there or your own barcode, you can. Sometimes in my office, we make our own barcode, price barcode, and we actually just put it over top of theirs. You can do that. So they're a little slow. All right, so we're not going to worry about it. AI generated, we didn't use AI to generate any content in this book, so I'm going to push no. Launch previewer. So what that's going to do is that's going to work like do the whole taco thing. It's going to take the middle of the book and then it's going to take the cover and it's going to put them around it and then it's going to actually show it to you. And you can actually flip through the book. I suggest if you have a children's book or a book with a bunch of pictures in it or a book that's fat, like a lot of pages in it, then you do flip through those pages and look. One of the biggest problems with books with a lot of pictures is the pictures will be intruding into the text or they'll be hanging over the book when they're not supposed to be. Oh, see, it's quick here tonight. All right, here's the book. All right, so here's the book. Now my teaching kids to share, this up here is pretty high and I'm going to move that down a little bit. This is okay. I might move this stuff over just a smidgen. So what they have is the red line is their minimums, and then it's going to go around the corner where this white line is. This is what they put on there automatically. Being I have to move that down anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip through the pages. Here's my pages. It's really nice. You can just sort of flip through the pages. Again, oops, look at C. I've got trouble on whatever this is, page 5. I got to pull that out. Here's page 6 and 7. I don't know why they're not out. See how they're not in their full bleed? These aren't either. 8 and 9. I'm getting suspicious. I'm really suspicious now. See, it's not even bleeding. Okay. So my file obviously is not bleeding. See how it's not all the way to the end? All right. So I'm going to exit the previewer, and I wouldn't let you guys wait while I do this, but I honestly don't think it's any big deal. So I'm going to actually fix it here in Photoshop. I'm going to take this, just move down a little bit. Oh, it, it, uh, let's see. I didn't want to cut it out really. I just need to move it down. Okay. Just pull it down so it's out of there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this stuff over here. I'm just going to pull it over. Like that. Okay. I'll smash it again. Save. All right. So the cover's ready to go again. And then the files obviously didn't do what they were supposed to. Then what is this? 1/2/26. It's got the wrong date on it or something here. I'm just going to make sure I'm using the right file. Oh, yeah, here's 1/2/26. Yeah, see, it's like last month, but I don't think that's a problem. Let's see what's going on here with this. Oh, it looks like that's the one I was actually working with. I didn't give it a new date. So I'm going to give it today's date instead of last month's date. May as well see if it's got any funny fonts in it. If it doesn't, everything is happy. All right. So I'm going to export it to 226, save. Yes. Those are fine. Marks, bleeds, use document setting. So it's supposed to have its bleed on it. I probably just grabbed the wrong one when I was importing the file. But putting the right date on it should help me to not make that mistake twice. Because none of those looked like they were bled. All right. So back here, there's my stuff. And it says bleed, so this is good. And that's what it's supposed to be, 8.5 by 11. Upload manuscript. This says due to, so I don't know, let's see what's going on. Okay. And then I'm going to change the cover and upload it around the corner again. Books are very detail oriented. So the more detail oriented you are, the better you're going to do with them. You really just can't rush things. Um, I saw a post came through on Facebook from a group, author group, and the lady was all frustrated because she her first book and she ordered 50 copies, author copies, and she only got 20 copies, and the next ones were delayed. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. They're taking too long. And I pointed out to her that ordering 50 copies is not a good idea to start with, especially if you have a book that's got pictures or whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. 5 copies or 10 copies is good. And it's better to order 5 or 10 copies, take a look at it, and then if there's something wrong with it, then you can publish over top of the other one and fix it. If you get all 50 copies and you find something wrong, now you've got 50 copies with something wrong. Most of the time, very rarely, is it a real print error. Usually it's author error, that, oh man, I didn't, I messed up on page whatever, or on the cover or something. Okay. And you go in and you can load over top of the other files, and that works out really well. But and the other thing that I did mention to her is that when you order books from KDP, I've ordered 5 books from KDP, author copies. I've had 2 come from California and 3 come from like St. Louis. I'm like, that's kind of odd. So, oops, let me see. I'm gonna stop share. I'm gonna keep going. Okay. I think it's still recording. I'm pretty sure it is recording. Okay. I just had a buzz, so I don't know what that was. Anyway, so sometimes you'll order books and some will come from one place and some will come from another place. The other thing that I did point out to her is it's the middle of winter and the East Coast is having a brutal winter, which means that just because you order books doesn't mean that they can get mailed. Okay. Because they may be hung up. The planes may not be traveling, the trucks may not be running because of the circumstance. So it's better to, when you first order books, to order a few books, order like maybe 5 at the most, get those books, look at them, and then go ahead and make changes to those files and come back around with those books. So I'm going to let this load and then I'll probably interrupt the recording and put it back on again. I'm just going to watch it upload. So what I've done is I have went ahead and basically did what I thought I did before, and that is save the file in the PDF, but just checking the bleed, making sure that the bleed is what it's supposed to be. On the cover, what I did is I moved some print in a little bit, which I felt was kind of right on the line. Now, the when you load this stuff into it, it will say initially it'll kind of ping you like errors, like say this the print is too far out of this line or too far out of this line type thing. It'll say that. It may not say that though, but then you get an email the next day that says, what I tell authors, I say, you'll get an email anyway, and they'll go, congratulations, your paperback is published. Or you'll get one that says, we found problems. But in the email will say, we found errors in your process or whatever, and then it'll give kind of a set message, and then it'll say, we give examples where indicated. And they actually, if you read down in there, it will say which pages your errors are on. You know, that your, let's say your picture is too far into the margin or not enough here or not enough there, or if you have verbiage that's hanging over where it's not supposed to be. Okay. One problem that you have to note too is that if your book is kind of thick, if you get upwards to 230 pages or above on a book, you're going to have to allow more in the spine. So that you know how you don't want to like have to open the book and wreck the spine to get the pages open. So your spine is going to have to be you're going to have a little bit more depth in your spine when you have a book like that that's got a lot of pages. All right, so our manuscript has reloaded. I'm going to upload the cover file again. It thinks my cover is uploaded successfully, but I want to upload it again. So I have to wait a minute so that it won't let me do. Upload the cover and upload your cover. You can upload over top of other stuff as much as you want. Okay. All right. I know I've gone on to KDP sites and the person made a new book when they had changes. Okay. You don't need to make a new book. Okay. It's much better just to go ahead and load up over top of the other one. All right. The only time you really, the question is, okay, when should I do a second edition? A second edition is if you want this book to be separated from the other book. So maybe you put some different material in it, you have different people in it. If it's a, you can't if you have a book and it's like let's say 37 pages but now you've added a whole section to it and now it's 57 pages, the cover's not going to fit anymore. So it's really better to go ahead and do a second edition. You can unpublish the first edition, but it kind of depends on how many people, how much advertising you've already done on the first edition. If you've done a ton of advertising on the first edition, then you don't want to make that book go away because people may be going to that book and that book won't exist anymore. And so you're sending them to a dead end street. People got a low tolerance for that. So it's better to go ahead and do a second edition. Now, if you look at the cover, this cover is the first cover that I uploaded. The stuff is pretty close to the edges. Hopefully, this new cover that when I move the stuff in a little bit, it won't look so close to the edges. All right, it's making me confirm again that I haven't used AI. All right, and I'm going to launch the previewer again. Again, I might take some of this out of here. I don't know. I don't know how interesting it is to hear me ramble about publishing books on KDP. They're inherently publishing books on KDP is the same as publishing them on Ingram Sparks, except Ingram Sparks does not have a look inside option as far as like this, where you're going to do the cover, do the inside, and then let you see and flip page to page. That is a definite disadvantage working with Ingram Sparks. So you're just going to find out later through a bunch of emails that, oh, you jacked this up, you jacked that up, whatever. Okay. So that is a disadvantage. So, I mean, honestly, if you're very nervous and you definitely want to publish on on Ingram Sparks, you want your book to go wholesale, Barnes and Noble, you want to use Ingram Sparks, then you can you can do this process on KDP and not publish the book. You can abort, okay? But now you've actually looked at the book and you're happy with it. Okay, now see, this is much better. I moved the teaching part down and I moved this over a little bit, and that's much better. Let's see how the bleed's doing. Okay, the bleed goes all the way to the edges now. You see how the green goes all the way up and all the way up there. I'm going to flip through the book just because it is a book that could have potentially disaster all over it. Okay. So I'm just going to flip through it. It won't take very long. Now, you notice how I've strung the pictures across the page and made sure that there's not anything, you don't want the main character for his face to be in the crack of the book, that kind of thing. So if you're interested, this book is very, very cute. It's these brother and sister frog, and they have their favorite log. They call it Old Lumpy, and their little brother comes out and he wants a place on the log, but they can't figure out how to make a space for him. They get up in the morning and the log is gone. They think the beavers have stolen it, but it floated down the creek and flipped upside down. But they have a favorite spot, and it's upside down. So now they're upside down. There they are upside down. But their brother's cool. He decides to share with them when they weren't willing to share. Now he shares his place with them on the log. Okay. So we did a song on it. Here's a play. I'm going to play that kids can do in the school. They want to learn how to share. It's all marked out. And then we did a Korean translation. Okay. Got the Korean. It's pretty much the same, the pictures and everything in the Korean, but we had to have more space available for that. Now this one is a little tiny bit down on page 70. They may call me for that. We'll find out. Okay. If they do, I'll have to come back and fix it. Okay. And it always ends on an even page, no matter however many pages you have. Okay. Because you have to have a whole piece of paper. All right. All right. So, It's going to shoot you back to the top here. No big deal. This is what we got going on. AI. Okay, my print copies is 1301 per copy. Okay. Now remember that's hardbound. Okay, here it is. Glossy hardbound, 8.5, 92 pages, color interior. All right. Don't mess with individual territories. Leave it where it is. There's no reason to limit that. What it is, just let it go everywhere, where everywhere they're going to send the book. We're on Amazon.com. Now it says minimum price is 21.86, maximum is $250. I think I'll probably charge $26. Let's see what that does. Okay. Now, if I say $26 on this book, the royalty is 60%. My royalty on this is going to be $2.59. You're not going to get rich on children's books. I'm just telling you right off. Okay. Let's go 26.95. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's $3.13. It is available though in all of these countries in the hardbound edition, just because they like. This is technically like kind of a nice library book. Okay. You can request a proof. This is the place that you do it. If you're really nervous and you want to look at a book before it becomes available to anyone else, you can request a proof. Although they do come and it says proof on every single page. So you can't really sell that copy. All right. I'm going to publish my hardbound book. Save successful. All right. And then it says I can start my ebook. Now, I'm not going to do an ebook. I'm going to end the video. Bye.